All right, we're going to start section 11.4 today. You're just going to do the notes today. 11.4 and 11.5 deal with circles. We're going to start with circumference, which you've done before, and something called arc length. So that is your objective today. I want you to start on these warm-ups. I just want you to simplify the expression. So here I literally just want you to simplify 45 over 360, and that would be an eighth. All right, now number 2, you're going to notice there's a pi in there. You can actually just leave the pi, just divide the numbers. So 15 divided by 3 would be 5. So you can just leave it as 5 pi. We're going to talk more about that. Those are exact answers. All right, and number 3, you can just type everything in your calculator, 120 over 360 times 9. Don't put the pi in there. Okay, or if you want, you could simplify. This is 1/3 times 9 pi. And a third of 9 is 3. So my answer would just be 3 pi. All right, so let's start with circumference of a circle because that's probably something you've done before. Okay, the circumference, which we use a capital C of a circle, is C equals 2 pi r. Now, remember, r is the radius. So if I mark the center of my circle, all right, this is a radius, or 2 of those radii make up a diameter, so your other formula is pi d. Okay, so remember a diameter goes through the center, but it's composed of 2 radii. So the diameter equals 2r. So you can use either formula, doesn't matter to me. Now, you're going to be able to leave exact answers, okay, and approximate answers. Right. So if I ask for an exact answer, that means you leave it with pi. So like we did in the last 2 warm-ups, 5 pi, 3 pi, you just leave it like that. Approximate means type it in your calculator, get a decimal. Make sure you use the pi key on your calculator, not 3.14. So let's do these examples. I want you to find the indicated measure. Right, I have a radius of 9 centimeters, so C equals 2 times pi times my radius. Multiply your 2 digits, so 2 and 9, so that gives me 18 pi centimeters. Okay, that would be exact. Okay. Right. If you want the approximate answer, type in 18 pi on your calculator and hit equal. And you should get about 56.55 centimeters. And that would be your approximate answer. Right. When we do circumference, it's just your unit on there. It's not squared. It's not anything like that. So just keep your same unit. All right, part B, we're going to work backwards because I want you to find the radius if I give you the circumference. So if I use C equals 2 pi r, I'm going to put my 36 in for C. All right. Now, you need to get r by itself. So what we're going to do is divide both sides by the 2 and the pi. Okay, so if I wanted an exact answer, okay, 36 divided by 2 is 18, and the pi stays at the bottom. This is on the bottom. Or you could get your approximate answer, take 18 and divide it by pi, which you should get about 5.73 feet. Pretty easy. All right, number 2. The diameter is 30 inches of a bicycle tire. To the nearest foot, how far does the tire travel when it makes 100 revolutions? Well, every time a tire makes a revolution, it covers the entire circumference of the tire. So one revolution would be one time all the way around the tire. So we are going to need the circumference of the circle. So I'm just going to use C equals pi d because I have the diameter. Okay, so that's pi times 30, or what would be 30 pi inches. Now I'm going to do that 100 times. So I'm going to take this times 100. All right, that gives me 3,000 pi inches. All right. Now, you have to be careful here because it says to the nearest foot. My answer right now is in inches. So remember, there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So we're going to take this and divide it by 12. Okay, and we're just going to do the approximate answer because it does say to the nearest foot. Okay, now, when you type this in your calculator, if you want to do it all at one time, you will need to put parentheses around the 3,000 pi. So open a parenthesis, 3,000 pi, close parentheses, divided by 12, and then hit your equals. And you should get approximately 785 feet. All right, something new that we are going to talk about, okay, is arc length. So I have the definition of arc length here for you. Okay, it's a portion of the circumference. So I just want to, if you want to think of it, it's kind of like the crust on a piece of pizza. All right. It's just that edge of the circle, just a part of it. And you can use the measure of the arc, okay? Now, the measure of the arc is given in degrees to find its length. All right? So here's the arc length corollary. All right. In a circle, the ratio of the length of a given arc to the circumference is equal to the ratio of the measure of the arc to 360. Now, we're going to use this proportion every time we want to find arc length or something that involves it. Now remember, when you use a proportion, that means you're going to cross multiply to solve. All right. Now, on the bottom, I have 2 pi r. Okay, now remember, that just means it's the circumference of the circle, which is what it says up here, a ratio of the arc to the circumference. So let's try one. Okay, I want to find the length of arc AB in both of these. So I'm talking about this here. From here to here, how long is that portion of the circle, that length right there? Okay, so I'm going to use A for arc length, okay, over 2 pi r. So that's 2 times pi times 9 equals the degree measure, which I've told you was 45, and it always goes over 360. Okay. Now I want you to cross multiply right here. So I have 360 times A equals, now I'm going to take 45 times 2 times 9, and that gives me 810 pi. And now you need to get A by itself, so you're going to divide both sides by 360. Right, and then type that in your calculator, put parentheses around this. So 810 pi, and get that answer if you want, and divide it by 360, and you should get about 7.07. Okay, so out of that circumference, that piece is just taking up 7.07 inches. So I want you to try the same thing for part B. So try and set up that proportion. Again, I'm just looking for this right here, from A to B. And this should be your starting proportion. A over 2 times 5 times 15, because that's the circumference, equals 45 over 360. I'm going to cross multiply, so we have 360A equals, now I'll take 45 times 2 times 15, which is 1,350 pi. Now, the main reason I leave it in terms of pi is so I don't have to write down another decimal. It's just easier that way. Now divide by 360. You should get a decimal of about 11.78 inches. All right, try this one. Find the length of this arc from A to B. All right, this should be your starting proportion. Cross multiply and divide. You should get 26.70 inches. All right, now we're going to use the same proportion here. It's just I'm looking for you to find other things. So for example, in this first one, I want you to find the circumference. This number here, the 6.82, that is your arc length. So I already know that, so that's what I'm going to start with in my proportion. Now, we usually put that over 2 pi r, all right? But that is circumference, right? So I'm just going to put C down here. Equals my degree measure, which is 75 over 360. Cross multiply. So you have 75C equals 2,455.2. And then divide, by 75. You should get 32.74 centimeters. All right, last problem here. I want you to find, that means the measure of arc AB. So I want you to find the degree measurement. That's what I'm looking for. Now, again, I gave you the arc length of 40 feet. So I'm going to do 40 over 2 times pi times 15.28, that's 2 pi r, equals the degree over 360. Right. Cross multiply. and then divide by 96. Now, on this problem, I did go ahead and multiply by the pi. I did do this one a little bit differently. So I apologize about that. But you should get 150 degrees when you do this problem. All right, so I took 2 times pi times 15.28. That's where the 96 comes from. All right, I hope you guys understand the proportion. That would be the only thing that is new for you right now. The circumference you should have done somewhere along the way, probably in like a junior high math or something like that. So that's everything for section 11.4. I'll be posting homework for tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.